Hey there, I'm Jenna Layden, the founder of Star Family Wisdom. And before you do this meditation, I wanted to explain a little bit about the process and what you'll experience, and also invite you to explore the offerings from the Four Winds Society and Alberto Violdo. If you want to go further in this process, learn more about it, do even more detailed exploration and initiation work around the different realms we operate in. His site, his mystery school, is just so incredibly supportive for anyone who is on the path of soul healing, anyone who's on the path of transformation, anyone who's on the path of reacquiring their power. So he also wrote a book called Soul Journeying, which I highly recommend. It also describes this process in a little more detail. So this process guides you to the lower world. That's what we're going to be doing in this journey. You can also journey to the upper world. We won't be doing that today. That's a whole different process, and that's related to the future or destiny. And before we go there, it's important to address things from the past or any wounds or trauma that we're carrying that we can heal and transform. And this process does that. So, as we journey to the lower world, we are journeying to the realm of the past. We are journeying to the realm of your soul. And we're specifically going to four chambers in the lower world. And what this will look like is a meditative process where we'll be using visualization, and we'll just be trusting what that visualization looks like. And if you're a person who's maybe not as visual in meditative processes, or maybe you're still working to, activate your third eye, just trust this process. You may not see anything at first. That's okay. When I first started this process, I didn't see a lot. And it was fleeting. I would get these impressions that would come through. And as I did it more and more and more, then my psychic skills and abilities developed, and I was able to perceive more. I was able to receive more information. And over time, really a full visual depiction of what is happening in this process started to occur for me. So that might be the case for you too. So don't judge yourself. Don't, put pressure on yourself to have a full, visual experience. Just allow the process to happen, and know that even if you're not having a visual experience, you are still accessing these parts of your soul and these parts of yourself that are really important to access. And it's going to help unlock those doors for you to, even in your conscious daily life, or maybe in your dream state at night, to be able to do more of this soul level work. So when we journey to the lower world, we are journeying through a tree. We're going to be visualizing a tree, and we're going to enter the tree, and then we're going to journey down into the belly of Mother Earth. You can think of Mother Earth as being representative of the great mother of creation. And we're going to be journeying down into her belly, deep, deep, deep into the core of Mother Earth, which is kind of like a womb space. This is a space of deep healing, and you're going to be journeying down through the inner earth, and we're going to find your inner garden. And your inner garden is your sanctuary. And I highly recommend that you come back at least to your inner garden a lot, and use that as a place of sanctuary. Use that as a place of returning to the womb of the mother, and allowing that womb space to give you the healing energy, the sense of connection, that loving motherly presence. And in this inner garden, again, you may see, visuals of this, you may not. Either way is fine. But over time, if you have a visual of this, you might want to evolve how your inner garden looks. And as you do this journeying process, it will just naturally evolve over time. So that's something to look forward to and to just notice as that's happening. So when you get to your inner garden, we're going to be meeting the keeper of the lower world. There is a keeper of the lower world, a keeper of the middle world, and a keeper of the upper world. These are like archangels who guard entrance to the information of the past, that guard our ability to make these soul level contractual changes or to potentially acquire gifts from spirit. So, developing a relationship with these archangel archetypes is really important. So, you're going to start to develop your relationship with the keeper of the lower world in this exercise. And the keeper of the lower world is going to guide you to 4 chambers. The first one being the chamber of wounds, the chamber of the past. This is where we go to identify the original cause of whatever issue is present in our life. So, as an example, let's say I have this repeat issue of feeling really nervous in meeting people in a business, I guess, environment. So let's say I just have this constant anxiety when it comes to business meetings, and I don't know where that's coming from. Well, we can use this process to identify what original wound, what original trauma occurred that has resulted in me having this anxiety or this experience of reality, this distorted experience of reality, right? So we can go into the chamber of wounds to see like a snapshot of the original event. So sometimes we have had a trauma or an event play out in a past life, or maybe in childhood in this life, that resulted in us taking on a subconscious belief. And now the nature of the subconscious is that it's not conscious, right? So we have all these beliefs that are running in our system that are resulting in the universe presenting different illusions of reality, presenting different life situations and scenarios. So the universe is responding to how we're programmed, right? And so our subconscious becomes programmed. Our energy field becomes programmed with information. And a lot of the information that we are carrying as humans is distorted, it is negative, it is limiting. And most of that has stemmed from prior trauma. So here's another example. I want to just make sure you kind of understand the concept of how this works. Because in the second chamber, we then go to the chamber of soul contracts, where we can rewrite the belief that our subconscious or that our soul is carrying. And sometimes these contracts, these beliefs, these limiting beliefs that we've been carrying around, may just hit us like a ton of bricks once we find it, like, whoa, I wouldn't have even thought of that. I wouldn't have thought of that event contributing to this particular issue in my life. But it's so interesting how interconnected all of these past events are with these current issues and karmas and things that are coming up in our lives, or even just ways we feel inside. And so one example from my personal life that I'm happy to share is when I did this exercise for the first time, I saw myself as a child. And I was with some adults, and this was a memory I did not really have, in my conscious awareness as an adult. Like, I'd never thought of this as an adult. But I was with some adults, and we were at the lake. So people were in bathing suits, and there were men making comments about women's bodies. And I was, maybe like 6 or 7, really young, impressionable. Yeah, up until the age of 7 or 8, we are just being wired and programmed with everything we are taking in. And so I overheard this conversation about women's bodies. And I took on a belief about bodies, and specifically a belief about myself, that my body wasn't right, that my body wasn't good enough. And again, this is not something I had any conscious awareness of as an adult, but I did always feel a little not good enough or not pretty enough or whatever, like we all have a lot of that we're carrying. And when I saw this childhood event, when I did one of these journeys, I was like, whoa, that makes a lot of sense. But it just, wasn't conscious for me. So I found that information. And then when I went to the Chamber of Soul Contracts, I was able to see or perceive what that belief was, what that contract was that had been written, for my soul, that I was carrying around in this lifetime. And so we got that changed. And then when we're done with that process, we can go to the third chamber, which is the chamber of grace. This is where we can meet the healed version of ourselves or find a soul part that has splintered off. So we can think of soul parts as, part of our essential energy, part of our soul, our power, that we lose every time a trauma happens or every time we take on a limiting belief or a truth that is not actually our truth. A little part of us kind of gets chipped away. And so, especially now at this point in humanity, a lot of us are coming into bodies having, carried multiple thousands of years of karma and limiting beliefs, traumas, distortions that have happened, and our system is carrying that. And so we are not whole and complete. We have a lot of our soul energy that we're not carrying in this life. And so we want to call that back to ourselves. And in the chamber of grace, we do that. In the chamber of grace, we can find those parts of ourselves that might be ready to come home. And those parts of ourselves are ready to come home when we have done the work of identifying the block, the wound, the trauma, the limiting belief, and when we have started to rewrite that story or rewrite that soul contract, then it's time for us to bring home part of our essential energy, call back our power. So in the chamber of grace, you might see a version of yourself that is more confident, more articulate, that might be, able to present better, that might have all the skills that you desire to have for a particular job or whatever it is in your life. You're going to see that version of you, and you can call that version of you home, back to yourself, and ask it to come with you. So that's what we're going to do in the chamber of grace. And then after that, we go to the chamber of treasures or gifts. This is where you then access potential gifts or power that your soul is carrying that can be activated in this lifetime. Here's an example from my personal life. So I was having an issue related to time and feeling like I never had enough time, for everything. And I was always rushing. I always felt this like unnecessary sense of urgency about things. I always, had this kind of level of anxiety about time. And so that's an interesting thing to like even just unpack our relationship with time. But anyway, as I was doing the work to heal, what caused this, imbalance, this sense of feeling really unsettled about time, when I got to the Chamber of Treasures, all of a sudden there was a grandfather clock. And at the time I'm like, okay, well, that's related to time. That's interesting. I wonder what this is about. And so when I got done with the journeying exercise, I did a journal exercise, which is here as well, that I encourage you to do after you do the journey, because there's a way we can journal to also connect with our subconscious mind, connect with our soul, or connect with the intelligence of a power animal, a treasure, some sort of symbolic gift that is coming to us. So this was an example of some sort of symbolic gift that was coming to me. There was symbolism here in the grandfather clock that I needed to understand. And as I did this journaling exercise, where you're essentially talking to this energy, you're talking to the grandfather clock and asking, what are you here for? What are you helping me with? I got clarity, on how the grandfather clock was able to help me understand time in a different way and operate outside of time. And then one time there was like a tortoise, it was like slow and steady wins the race. So there are these times where we receive guidance, gifts, support from other intelligences over time. I think I've acquired somewhere in the neighborhood of like 10 to 15 power animals that I've worked with at different times for different reasons. And this is a way you can start to connect with these different energies and intelligences that exist, and start to bring their qualities and energy into your system to again help with that process of coming back into wholeness. So when we're done with the Chamber of Treasures, you're going to take that healed soul part that's coming with you, you're going to take that treasure that's coming with you, and the Keeper of the Lower World is going to guide you back to the inner garden, back to the underground river, and we're going to come back up. And then you can do some journaling, some integration work around that exercise. This is a process I highly encourage you to do over and over and over. I think we as humans don't realize how negatively programmed we've been, how much soul loss has occurred over the last few thousand years, and this is a time where we have the ability to clear a lot of that karma and bring ourselves back into wholeness. So the amount of limiting beliefs and traumas that we're carrying is a lot. And sometimes it's not just personal. Sometimes we're carrying ancestral traumas that have been passed down, that have created these beliefs or contracts for us. I've had a lot of those to work through as well. So sometimes it's collective, right? Sometimes it's an aspect of, the collective consciousness that we've taken on and that is programmed into us that we have to then shift and, make, release, some of those beliefs and install new beliefs for ourselves. So there are a lot of layers to this process. Trust the process. Don't do it too often because one thing to be aware of is that anytime we enter these states and we're journeying to do this soul work, to do this really intentional, intensive soul work, we have changed how our energy field is programmed. That is changing how the universe is responding to us. That is changing the series of events and things that will play out in physical reality. And it's good to just give it a little time, to let that settle, to let that integrate. So, integration with these sorts of exercises is really important so that you're not, just stirring up too much, energy at once, kind of just keep it focused and, maybe wait a couple weeks, before doing another one, just to let the energy settle. It also kind of depends on what you're working on, and how big that is for your soul or your current lifetime. So I just caution you to, use some discernment with that and to not rush it, to know that as you're ready, the right information, the right gifts, the soul retrieval will happen at the right time. So if you ever do this process and you're really not perceiving anything, or maybe the Keeper of the Lower World even turns you away, that's okay. Like that happens sometimes. That just means it's not the right time. So we have to trust in divine timing. We have to trust that we're really being guided, in this process, and that spirit is going to reveal the right things at the right time for you. So just, you know, don't don't be too attached to it. Don't put pressure on it. Give it some space. Allow yourself some time to just see, like what's changing about how you're feeling, about what issue, you were working on. Just notice how that might be shifting in your life, and then use that, to help you understand when the next, right time might be. So I hope this process is helpful for you. Again, there's so much more to know about the different realms and how we can work with them. Ultimately, our goal, if we really want to go all the way with this, is to bring all three worlds into alignment: the lower world, the middle world, and the upper world. That's our goal with this higher level soul work, with coming back into wholeness and completion, and ultimately finding our destiny. So if you're curious about the destiny aspect of this, and future journeying, and learning how to track timelines and that sort of thing, again, Alberto Villoldo and the Four Winds Society have excellent courses and programs and resources for that. So go check that out. So I hope this is helpful. And again, this has been just a really important part of my healing, of my transformation process, of learning how to work with energy and learning how to work with like the different realms, and like I said, bring alignment to the different realms. So it's been, I think, one of the more critical aspects of the practices I've engaged in, which is why I wanted to bring it to you and offer it, so that you have, this is a tool to just begin to incorporate into your practice. And always do this in sacred space. Make sure that you are saying an opening prayer in whatever way you do that, creating the right space, making sure you can be uninterrupted. That setting is really important too for this. Okay, with that, you can use the meditation, and please reach out, email support@starfamilywisdom.com if you have any questions or need some guidance. Bye for now. Welcome to this journey meditation, where we'll be traveling to the lower world, the realm of your subconscious, the realm of your soul, to meet with the keeper of the lower world, asking for entrance to any chambers of your soul, your psyche, your subconscious that you are ready to enter, and asking for any information, any insights, any soul level guidance, contracts, gifts that may be right for you to experience and receive at this time. So beginning this meditation in a seated position or lying down with your eyes closed, beginning to connect with your breath, allowing the breath in to bring new life force energy into the body, and allowing the breath out to release any tension, knowing that there's nothing to do, nothing to worry about, nothing to think about, as we just relax and allow this journeying process to begin. Continuing to connect with the breath, allowing your in-breath to deepen and lengthen, and then breathing out deeply, letting go of the day, letting go of any worries, knowing that you are safely held in this journey. And as you continue breathing in and out, allow your breath to lengthen, And allow yourself to hold the breath before breathing out for just a few moments. And then releasing, just continuing this slow, rhythmic breathing, allowing your body and mind to relax deeply, moving deeper and deeper into deeper states of relaxation. And with your eyes closed, just beginning to visualize and see yourself standing in a beautiful field, the night sky above, the full moon bright, beaming down, illuminating your path forward, a path that takes you to a grand, majestic tree just ahead. And you see this tree towering over you, reaching high into the heavens, its roots reaching deep down into the belly of Mother Earth. This is the world tree. This is a tree that you can travel through to the lower world or up to the upper world, knowing that this is a bridge through which you can connect to spirit and the information related to your soul that is right for you at this time. And beginning to take one foot in front of the other, stepping towards this tree, noticing how bright the moon is shining on the grass beneath your feet, feeling the grass beneath your feet, feeling the dampness, the coolness as you walk further, getting closer and closer to this tree. And as you begin approaching this tree, making contact with this tree, ask the tree if you may enter to journey to the lower world at this time. And as you stand in front of this tree, you know you can only take your energy. You must leave behind what is heavy. So your energy now moves into the trunk of the tree, and you begin feeling a beautiful stream of light that connects this tree to the upper world and lower world. And this stream of light begins moving you down through the trunk, down through the roots, now below the earth, below the ground, moving down through the bedrock, going deeper and deeper, allowing the stream of light to move you through the root system, twisting and turning and moving through the bedrock, moving through boulders, moving around underground streams, allowing this root to bring you deeper and deeper and deeper into the belly of Mother Earth. And as you approach the tip of this root, you are ejected into an underground river. And this underground river immediately begins cleansing your energy, allowing you to leave behind what is heavy, what is not of your highest vibration or your highest soul expression, and allowing this river to move you deeper and deeper, twisting and turning through the underground cave system of Mother Earth, moving you deeper and deeper and deeper, allowing this water to cleanse you and wash away what is not yours to carry anymore. And as you go deeper and deeper and deeper, just around the bend ahead is your inner garden. And as you approach this inner garden, you notice a beach, and you begin to exit the underground river, walking into your inner garden. This is your safe space. This is your sanctuary. This is your garden to cultivate. And just beginning to notice what exists in this oasis. You might see it, you might just feel it. You might just know what it looks like, what is surrounding you. Knowing that you can come to this inner garden anytime you need sanctuary, anytime you wish to connect with Mother Earth more deeply, anytime you wish to enter her womb, to receive healing, to release, to restore. and just allowing what is present in this inner garden. It might be lush, beautiful, tropical greenery. It might be a waterfall. It might be a garden. Just allowing whatever is present to come to you and nurture you, allowing your senses to take in what you are experiencing, what you are perceiving. And just taking a moment here to just be, to just feel that sense of reconnection with your mother. Our mother in this life, our great mother, Mother Earth, allowing her to hold you. And maybe just walking around this inner garden, or maybe laying down, to just feel this sense of reconnection, this sense of coming home to this space within our mother that is all yours. And then as you are ready, you begin hearing the footsteps of the keeper of the lower world coming to meet you. And you begin to see the keeper emerge from around a corner, coming to guide you to the chambers of your soul. And if you are ready and if the time is right, you may now follow the keeper of the lower world, knowing that this archangel is here to support you and grant you access to the information that is relevant to your soul at this time. And you follow the keeper of the lower world around the corner, approaching a series of caves, a series of chambers, and you see 4 caves with doors just in front of you, and the keeper of the lower world guides you towards the first door. This is the chamber of wounds, the chamber of the past, where you may access any information related to any issues, original wounds, or traumas that may have occurred for you. And the keeper of the lower world asks if you are ready. And on the count of 3, the door will open and you will enter. And just briefly, receiving the information you need, not attaching to it. 1, 2, 3, entering the chamber now and beginning to receive what you are here to receive. It may be a visual, it may be a knowing, it may be a feeling. Just allow whatever is present to be. Just observing. And taking that information with you out of the chamber now, not lingering, not attaching, just observing and moving out of the chamber back to where the keeper of the lower world is waiting for you. And now taking that information with us, the keeper of the lower world moves you into the chamber of soul contracts, the second chamber. And on the count of 3, this door opens and you will enter. 1, 2, 3. Beginning to walk inside and seeing it there in front of you. It may be written, you may just know it. Here you may access the contract that was written around that event you just received or witnessed. Just noticing what contract is currently in place. And if you wish to change it, you now see a table in front of you with a scroll and a quill pen where you may now write the new contract that is more appropriate for this life, a new contract of empowerment, a contract from a place of love. Just allowing yourself to get clear on that new contract and write it down when you're ready. The keeper of the lower world now enters behind you to review this contract, and you present this contract to the keeper of the lower world, asking for this new intention, this new contract, this new belief to be installed for your soul, to be your new truth now. And the keeper of the lower world approves and nods their head and presents you with an offering, presents you with a rose. And you see in the corner of this chamber a beautiful fire burning brightly. And the keeper of the lower world asks you to make this offering to the fire, knowing that as you make this offering to the fire, it is done, it is sealed, it is complete. And just noticing how the fire responds as you make that offering. And when you are ready, following the keeper of the lower world out of the second chamber and quickly moving on to the third chamber, the chamber of grace, where you may meet a part of yourself, a healed soul part that is ready to come home to you. And on the count of 3, this door opens and you will meet that part of yourself. 1, 2, 3, and beginning to enter this chamber now. And just welcoming whatever you are perceiving. You may see that version of you clearly. And you might ask this version of yourself, this part of yourself, what does this part of yourself need for it to come back to you now? What action must you take? What way of operating must you focus on? What does this part of yourself need to become whole again? Just allowing yourself to receive whatever you receive. If you don't see or perceive a healed part of yourself, that's okay. Just knowing that you're opening the door for that to occur in the next journey. And if you do have a soul part that is present, welcome it back to you now. Invite it to come with you as you continue the journey and exiting that chamber now, following the keeper of the lower world to the 4th chamber, the chamber of treasures, the chamber of gifts, where you may find a gift that your soul carries or a gift from spirit that is ready to come to you. Or you may find a power animal ally that can support you in your life, in your evolution. And on the count of 3, the door opens and you enter. 1, 2, 3, entering the Chamber of Treasures now. And just allowing yourself to see that gift, to receive that gift now. And just asking that gift, that treasure, whatever it is, even if you don't know why it's there, asking it to come with you now. Knowing that its qualities, its power, whatever it holds for you will become clear in time. And beginning to exit that chamber, now meeting the keeper of the lower world once again. And beginning to walk back past the chambers, back towards your inner garden. Allowing this experience to be what it was with no judgment. And coming back to your inner garden and again just noticing what is present around you, noticing how it feels, noticing how you might want to change it over time to make it your most beautiful sanctuary possible. And turning to the keeper of the lower world now, with a deep bow, thanking the keeper of the lower world for guiding you, for giving you access to these chambers and the information that they hold. Knowing that this relationship, this connection with the keeper of the lower world is now established, and you may call on the keeper of the lower world as you continue evolving your soul, as you continue becoming whole and finding those soul parts that are ready to come back to you, knowing that you can journey down to the keeper of the lower world at any time. And after saying your goodbyes, you approach the beach next to that underground river and you step back into the river. Now the river moves up, winding you back up, up, up through the inner earth, up, up, up through the bedrock, up, up, up to where that river meets the roots of the world tree, and you begin to enter the roots once again, passing up, 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 going higher and higher and higher and higher, seeing those roots widen as they get closer and closer and closer to the trunk of the tree, moving back up into the trunk of the tree, allowing that inner stream of light that flows through this tree to cleanse you one more time, cleansing your energy, allowing any heavy, dense, negative energies to just drop away, to melt away, allowing those to return to the belly of the earth as you step out of the trunk now, back into your body, back into your room in this day and time, allowing yourself to come back into waking consciousness, allowing yourself to bring a little movement back into your body, taking a deep breath in and a deep exhale out, just allowing your toes and fingers to wiggle, just feeling refreshed and ready to come back into your day. And now, while you're still in sacred space, if you brought a soul part back, if you brought a treasure or gift back with you, one at a time, blow the energy of that soul part into your hands, seeing that energy forming into a ball, and bring that into whichever chakra feels appropriate. If you're not sure, just bring it to your heart. And then do that same process with the gift, the treasure that you received. And then you can also complete a journaling exercise as a follow up to this journey that just helps you integrate and helps you continue connecting with your subconscious and your soul to identify the wisdom, the qualities that healed soul part has, or the information or qualities, or power that gift might have. So do that also as a follow-up to help with the integration process, and come back to this journey anytime you feel the call, anytime something is coming up, anytime you are curious about a limiting belief you're carrying and you're ready to change it, anytime you are experiencing a karmic situation and it's time to understand the deeper layers of that, come back to this and use it over and over and over to support your healing process.